Welcome to the JAMODI podcast, where we interview coaches and leaders to find out not just what they do, but how they do what they do. Becoming the best version of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it. How do you handle defeat directly after a game, especially like with your team in the locker room in that moment?
I don't handle it real well. Guys I work with will tell you I'll come in here and kick, want to break stuff, throw stuff for the locker room. I try not to do it in front of the kids. So we always go straight to the office first, and get that out. COVID's kind of helped me with some things. We spent so much time, and I know other coaches did too, on plans. How can, the 15-minute was the window. You couldn't be around each other more than 15 minutes. So we looked at how can we trim that. Well, post-game talks was one of them. I've stuff that I've stopped using the word steal. If you had a player steal, you'd kick them off. So I don't steal from other coaches. I adopt and I adapted. One of the things I adopted and adapted for Mike was he never does a post-game talk. He never goes in the locker room after games. And his for two reasons. On the college level, they go and talk to the media, and his team signs autographs. Well, when you think about it, though, you just walk in from a big game, big win. You're high-fiving, you look over in the corner, and there's a kid pouting because he didn't get to play. Immediately, well, like I talked about earlier, didn't have the right matching sweatpants. We walk in the gym, I'm upset. You walk in after a loss, they're laughing, having a good time. One kid sent her chest puffed out because he scored 20. Well, we got beat 20, but, he got his 20. So there's so many negative things. So this is one of the things I took from COVID, kind of adopted it from Mike, but I think I'll stick with. I try not to be in there 3 minutes. Anybody hurt? Anybody see a trainer? Let me watch the film. Let me talk with her. I'll go and talk with Mackie and Pal, see what we think, and we'll talk tomorrow. Something I've got to get better on is the feedback. These kids, this generation, the Generation Z, we're in, pandemic, whatever you want to call them, immediate feedback. They live for likes. You don't believe them, watch them. Have them put something on Instagram. If they don't have a certain number of likes in a few hours, delete. And so they live for that feedback. And so something I'm going to be better at this year is, not that I want to be texting my players at midnight, but they need to get that 7:30 a.m. text the next day saying, watch the film. Here's what I saw. We'll talk in practice. Whether it's good or bad, they need to hear something back from me versus waiting from game ended. We got beat. Coach comes in, says, are you hurt? Anything good? All right, boom, he's out. I'm going to go home. No telling my parents going to tell me, good or bad, however. And then we don't hear from our coaches until the next day of practice. So something I'm going to be better at is trying to cut that window of feedback. But that's the thing. Like, I think so many times we go off the result. This is off Andy Duke, if you've read her book, Thinking of Bets, resulting, we may have played horrible and won. And we may have played our best game ever and got beat. So until I watch the film, I can't really I shouldn't give feedback without having all the information. I might come in and say, Matt, you were awful tonight, man. If you're going to play like that, don't come back. And then go back and look at you diving for a loose ball that I forgot about, or seeing you you may not get a rebound. Story I heard one time I was talking about with Coach Wooden, complaining, one of his players, you didn't get one single rebound. Yeah, you're right. I was blocking this guy out and Walton got all of them. Was it really like he wasn't doing his job? And so that's kind of just changing that mindset of what's good, what's bad, when's the appropriate time, when's the window for it. So that's one of the things we've done to handle losing. Winning, yeah, hey, good job. We will never pout about a win. We promised ourselves that because they're so hard to come by, and you know that. So if we win, we're going to go in and say, great job, way to get the win. We did what we wanted to do. And then we'll say, we'll watch the film and see if we did it how we wanted to do it. But we did what we wanted to do. And then we move on. And it's made my life easier. Again, there was so many bad stuff from COVID, but there were so many good things we learned that we could get rid of.
Yeah.
And things we could streamline and do better.
That's right. I think we're more efficient now than ever before. One thing Tyler Costin said was, and it was probably one of the first times I've heard it, and then maybe the second, is the idea of eliminating. You're talking about shortening and making them very concise, but he actually talks about eliminating them completely. Game's over, bring them together. You either you break out, you pray, you do what you got to do. And then in his mind, he's like, let them go eat pizza. Let them go talk to their friends. Let them go. The idea that, oh, we just lost. I got to make sure they feel that pain. I got to make sure I walk through the 18 things that I saw, and we're resulting hardcore in those moments. I think you're right on the money that we can have healthier players, healthier environments, probably do less damage relationally with our players if we let that time go.
That, and one of the things that used to bug me was, I remember when we played, you didn't like the guy at the other team. You didn't love that school. And now you'll catch your tweet, a player tweeting a kid from their team, good game. Wait, come on, man. But now you're like, no, it's different. And it's like, there's so little energy, emotional energy you have. Do I want to spend it being mad about stuff that doesn't matter? That was my big thing, was when I did my evaluation of myself, sitting at home for those months, was what can I get rid of that doesn't make me a better coach? And it doesn't, when I was I was a head coach at 22, way too young. So I stayed mad because in my mind, the madder I was, the more I knew. If he looks like he's mad all the time, like Bobby Knight, well, he must know his stuff. I didn't know anything. I just knew.
Or he really cares, or you really care.
Yeah, he's so invested because he's so mad. Like, come on, man.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.